Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Amber Unfiltered. Today I'm going to give you another review of Yellowstone. I believe it's season 5, episode 10. But before I do that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you want to cash at me at Amber Unfiltered Show, that'd be greatly appreciated. So I do have my tablet here with more notes. So the episode opens with the guys, so Rip and some of the other cowboys. I think it's like 4 or 5 of them. Teeter, Walker, I can't remember the other 2 guys' names. I should know this because I've been watching this show for so long. But they're at the 4-6s, and there's a fucking rattlesnake in Teeter's tent. I think it's Teeter. Is it Teeter or Tater? I can't remember. I think it's Teeter. So they're camping out outside, just like in the fucking desert. They've been offered a bunkhouse, and Rip is so prideful, and he's like, no, we must do things the old school way. We must be real men. We must be real women. Like, you know, beat his chest. I don't fucking know. So I think I told Nick this. I should have looked up the symbolism, but I think they're using symbolism with the animals to foreshadow like the danger that the ranch is in, and that everybody that loves it and works it and is committed and loyal to it is they're kind of like screwed. Actually, I'm gonna look it up while we're on. Give me 1 second. I'm kind of curious now. Hold on, because I talked about this in the last video. Hold on. So the first one, I said that Casey saw a wolf. It was just a lone wolf by itself. And usually that's funny because, ooh, I just thought of something. In real time, wolves usually travel in packs. The fact that this wolf is alone, it is foreshadowing. He's going to lose his pack, which is his family. Or it could be like his family that he created in the film at the ranch. Ooh, I just thought about that. I'm so smart sometimes. So I just looked up wolf symbolism on Google, and it says the native wolf symbol represents loyalty, strong family ties, good communication, education, understanding, and intelligence. Let me see. It says, what does it symbolize spiritually? Intuition and wisdom. It says the wolf with its acute instinct and innate intuition is a symbol of the innate wisdom we all carry within us. If the wolf is your spirit animal, it can encourage you to listen more closely to your intuition and rely more on your inner wisdom. Yeah, so I think Casey's getting ready to lose his family. That's my guess. I'm calling it foreshadowing. Dun, dun, dun. And then I'm going to look up rattlesnake symbolism. Sorry, I'm totally going off the cuff. I wasn't planning on doing this, and then I just decided to do it really quick. Hold on, I'm gonna look up rattlesnake symbolism. Ooh, see, I told you, I've had a dream about a rattlesnake. It was so fucking scary. It was about my dad, actually, which was the crazy part. So rattlesnakes often symbolize hidden threats, caution, or life transitions. See, I told you, I be knowing. So anyway, there's a rattlesnake in her tent, and oh, let me back up. I'm sorry, there was one more. I'm like squirrel, as my mom says. Also, I think it was the first episode or towards the end of it, or the second one. Yeah, it was the first one. I think it was the first one. One of the other cowboys, he got bit. A scorpion was crawling on him. I don't know if he got bit. Yeah, I think he did. So I'm going to look this up too. Scorpions are symbols of protection, transformation, independence, solitude, and intelligence. But scorpions are also a symbol of death and rebirth, a symbol of power, and also represent lust, sex, and fertility. Very interesting. Okay, I'm sorry. I keep going off topic. So anyway, the rattlesnake is in Teeter's tent. Rip, like the rest of the guys are all getting up. They're getting ready to start the day, get the cattle in order and everything like that, right? So he's like, where's Teeter? And I'm like, bitch, she dead. So he goes in her tent, and she's like, and he's like, what's wrong? She's like, rattlesnake is sitting on her chest, bro. I said, there is no way I would have stayed calm. First of all, bitch, I would have been flipping the sheets and everything. Like, I would have been, that tent would have been upside down. It would have been, what is it? An isosceles triangle? What's the triangle? The inverted one. I don't even know what the fuck it's called. I probably said the wrong one. But y'all know what I meant. Like, I would not have stayed calm, but I'd be like, I guess she has to stay calm, because if she freaks out, then the animal's gonna freak out, then she's probably gonna get bit, and then she's probably gonna die. I don't know if you can die from rattlesnake bites. Let me know in the comments. So anyway, like I said, there's a note here. It says something I picked. Also, a lot that they talked about in the first couple episodes is that they're kind of talking about how cowboys are going extinct or getting ready to go extinct. And I was like, that's such an interesting thing to think about. I don't think that they will. I think they'll just change and evolve. Maybe they won't look how they look like when they first came out, or even in today's society. So Rip gets the rattlesnake. Rip gets the rattlesnake. They cut its head off or stomp on it or something. Yeah, I think they cut its head off, one of the other cowboys. And then he tells Teeter, he's like, get your ass in there and look and see if there's other rattlesnakes. And she's like, I gotta go back in there. I'm like, yes, sis, you gotta go in there. You didn't want to listen, because she left her tent open because I think she snuck out and then came back in. And he was like, your ass and started all this shit so you can finish it. She go in there because there's another one. Then they just keep finding more. And I was like, that is symbolism at its finest. I was like, it's so quiet. With this show, I have learned it can go real quiet and then boom, it can get real loud, real chaotic, real violent, real quick. So I was just like, this is so foreshadowing. I was like, it's too quiet. Maybe that's why I'm not liking it, because I'm like, I'm ready for the shoe to drop. Like, this show be giving me anxiety because I'm like, the wildest shit be happening. The Penguin did too. I was like, oh my God, every time I turn around, Oz is in some BS. And it's the same thing with these characters. So anyway, Beth shows up at the 4-6's ranch and she kidnaps Rip for some sexy time. It's funny. She's like, to all the cowboys, she's like, I'm going to kidnap your boss and then I'll fly your guys' significant others out so y'all can have a little fun time too. So she does that because Rip is kind of hesitant. He's like, no, I must stay with my man. I can't leave them because how does it look for me to be kikiing and having fun with you at the hotel and going out for nights on the town and they're all working their asses off. And she's like, you can take some time off. Like, it's fine. So then it transitions to Casey, Monica, and Tate fixing up the cabin. It's fucking stunning. I probably should have inserted some pictures in here. I'm not going to be editing these. I'm just going to talk about them because I don't really have time for all that because I'm supposed to be going to my in-laws in a couple hours. So it's a stunning property. It's like a, like a wooden log cabin. It's just so beautiful. The landscape, the house itself, it's still pretty intact. Like, they don't have to fix it up too much, but it was kind of cool. Like, I love like montage scenes like that. So that was pretty cute. And then Casey and Monica are all over each other like a bunch of teenagers. And Tate is like, ugh. And I was like, how do you think you got here, sis? Like, and Tate is as tall as freaking Casey. I was like, oh my God. And I was like, his voice is so deep. I was like, I remember when he was a little pipsqueak. I was like, oh my God, this is insane. The kids of Yellowstone they're grown. Or the actors, I should say. So Beth and Rip go to a speakeasy in the hotel that she told him that she was taking him to for a couple nights. They have a little date night, they have food around or whatever. And then she's like, let's go downstairs. She's like, I heard that there's a speakeasy. And so you have to like put a cigarette in a little thing and then the door like opens and you're let in. And it was so cute down there. I was like, I kind of love to do something like that. And what was I going to say? So they get some drinks. They're talking to the bartender. And then Beth takes note and realizes there's no tourists down there. It's just like straight cowboys, which is very unusual for a speakeasy. But I was like, given the location, it makes sense. So she starts inquiring and her little wheels start turning and Rip is like, you don't just think just to think. Like, you have some effort or some big idea that you want to execute. She's very good. She's very smart. And I said to Nick, I said, Beth and Rip are such an interesting couple because from the outside looking in, Rip just looks like this rough around the way guy, like rugged, like man's man, like super masculine, like authoritative. He don't take no shit. He'll bust your ass and then go get some whiskey afterwards. And then Beth, she's so put together on the outside, but her inside, she's so fucking unhinged. Like, she's smart. She knows how to make power plays, excuse me. She can see BS from a mile away. She's very smart, and I think people underestimate her. And she's very conniving when she wants to be. She plays chess, not checkers. So that's interesting. And she'll fuck your shit up. She does not care. She'll go up to a grown-ass man and hit him dead in the face like he'd do it off the street. And then next thing you know, she throwing hands. Like, she's very... I remember one of the first episodes I seen of her, she was like bathing outside in a little like tin tub. She just gets up and walks naked in front of the whole cowboys on the ranch and to her dad. And I'm just like... Or I don't know if it was her dad or Rip, but I was just like, you just out here just swinging everything. Okay, cool. So Beth don't care, but fundamentally, I think that they get along and I think they balance each other out. And I feel like Rip is able to be soft and gentlemanly and chivalrous with her. And I feel like he brings out her softer side and that they're like each other's home or each other's comfort. So I do like that. And they have such a long history. They've been together since they were kids. So I think also too, if Rip knew, I can't remember if Rip knew what Jamie did to her, but if he knew, he would rip his head off, period. He don't play about Beth and Beth don't play about him. So anyway, let me look at my notes here. So it flashes to modern day. Remember I said they kind of keep flashing back between Montana and Texas. Oh, that's interesting how they're using like the geography to create the timeline. I just thought about that. Sorry. So it flashes to modern day and Rip is being questioned by Lloyd. He's one of the cowboys that has worked on the ranch for like his whole entire life. he's asking about the status of the ranch. Like, will he have a job? He's like asking about the pecking order now that John is died or dead. And he's like, is Casey next in charge? Like, is he the one that's going to be running the ship, or like, what are we doing? And he's like, I don't know. But Rip is like, just start looking just to be on the safe side. And Lloyd is like, bro, I've been here my whole life. I don't know anything else. And I was like, Rip doesn't either. Like, he grew up there. John took him in just like he took that little boy in that him and Beth adopted, who they kind of low-key abandoned. But anyway, I was kind of mad about that storyline because I was like, why introduce it if you're not going to see it through? But I guess it wasn't as important to the writers and the story. Sorry, that's just my little sidebar. So Summer is still in the house. She's played by Piper Perabo, who I love as an actress. She's been acting for fucking ever since the 2000s, maybe even before that. So she was like, I don't want to say John's little side piece, but she was like his little young tenderoni, and she got in trouble. She got arrested, and then I think she got put on house arrest, but she couldn't leave. I think she was like from out of town. She was like came to protest, and she ended up somehow being stuck in Montana because John got her stuck there. They got her out of jail, but she got put on house arrest. Well, come to find out, John just did that so he could have her at his disposal or his vicinity. And Beth is like, get the fuck out. She was like, well, Summer's like, where am I going to go? She's like, bitch, the paper say you free here. Like, it was all a thing just to get you to stay here. So that was interesting. I thought that was kind of mean of Beth to just kick her out. I was like, okay, sometimes Beth can be a girl's girl, and then other times she can't. Like, she's just so mean sometimes. I'd be like, damn, sis, you ain't have to come at her like that. But I guess for her, she wants her grieving to be in private. And she, like, I guess Summer is irrelevant to her because it wasn't like her stepmom. It wasn't his wife. They were just fooling around. It's like a younger woman dealing with a man that could be like her grandfather's age. If you're doing that, that's your business. You're an adult. But I think it's a little strange, but again, that's your business. So she basically tells Summer, figure it the fuck out, not my problem. She's like, I'm gonna take you to the barn. You can go ask one of the guys for a ride, and you do what you do. But when I come back, I don't want to see your ass here no more. So she does. So I think the scene Carter, that's a little boy that Beth begged Rip to adopt, and then they kind of just toss him to the wayside like a little rag or an old shoe. Something funny that my dad used to say was like, you toss dear old dad into the closet like a busted old tennis shoe. And I was just like, what the fuck does that mean? But that just kind of reminded me of that. So Rip goes to Carter, who's grieving because he really looked up to John as well as he looked up to Rip. He kind of wanted to be like both of them, really. And John took a chance on him and like let him in. I feel like John has a habit of taking in strays and building them up, because that's kind of what they did with Jimmy. That's kind of what they did with Carter. Carter is a cute little kid, or boy, or man. So there was a line that I wrote in here that Carter said to Rip that really touched me. He was like, my whole life, everyone I depended on quit me. And I was like, damn, that's so tough. Because I was like, sometimes I'll be feeling like that, or about past people who may not be in my life anymore. And I'm just like, that hits, and it stays with you because you feel like something's wrong with you that makes them leave. But it's like, nah, just shit happens. Things shift, priorities shift, people change, people don't change, and that can cause you to kind of be in an imbalance. So that happens. And Rip is like, get your ass up. He was like, even through grief, you need to work. Like, you need to earn your keep. Cowboys don't take days off. And he pretty much leaves it at that. Sorry, I'm going to take a sip because my throat's really dry. Ooh, that was a loud ass gulp. But anyway, so then it transitions to Casey, Monica, and Tate. Casey comes home, I guess, yeah, it's in modern day. So Casey comes home. Monica's like, I heard, like, are you okay? Because, you know, she's trying to console her husband who just lost his father / her father-in-law. And so he's like, yeah, just pack me a bag. I need to be close by to make sure everything's good with the ranch. And she's like, you want me to come? You want me to pack a bag? I got you. And Tate, just let me know. And he's like, yeah, go ahead and do that. So he's like, son, come take a walk with me. I'm thinking he's going to immediately, you know, go into talking about his grandfather, because Tate and his granddad were really close. That was like one of his best friends. And so it's interesting. Casey doesn't go the route that I think he's going to go when he's talking to him. He's talking to this man like he 18 already. Like, he like, you a man in my eyes. We stand at the same height, you a man. So he's like asking him, he's like, hey son, like, what do you want to do with your life? He's like, I've never asked you. He's like, I didn't even know, because he was like, I don't have as much ambition as my sister. All the stuff that my dad put on me, I just did it out of loyalty and respect and love for him. I didn't really want this stuff. He's like, I don't even know what I really wanted to be. He's like, I still don't even know. And I was like, that's an honest conversation to have with your child, to tell them like, I don't know. It's genuinely okay not to know. A lot of people don't know what they want to be, and that's fine. It makes you human, I feel like. So Casey admits to Tate that he's never had a job that made him feel whole. And I was like, damn, bitch. I was like, they hit me with these one-liners because I was like, yo, me too. Like, I haven't felt whole until I started doing this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so much fulfillment in being creative and using like the thing that makes you want to get out the bed, the thing that makes you smile from ear to ear, the thing that makes you feel so good. And then he was saying that Monica and Tate basically gave him purpose. Like him being a family man, being a father, being the leader of the household, being a husband was what gave him purpose and vision. That also too reminds me of in Avatar, The Way of Water, when Jake was like, I can't really, like when he was saying he wanted to protect his family because Quaritch was coming after him, and he was like, protecting this family, like that's something I can do. That's like in my blood, like a father protects. And I was like, oh my God, it kind of reminded me of that scene. That scene was so emotional to me because I was like, I feel like I'm gonna be like that as a mom. But what was I gonna say? So Casey asks Tate if he wants to continue his grandfather's legacy, which is like running the ranch, like being the man, like stepping up and preserving what your family has built for hundreds of years. And Casey's like, I'll continue it if you tell me you're up next. He's like, otherwise I'm not gonna do that because there's no one I can give it to because they don't have any other kids. Last season, I believe Monica was pregnant with another baby, but she lost it, unfortunately. Oh my God, it was so sad. That scene ate me up. And so to me, I thought that was such a powerful conversation. And then he kind of wraps up the convo by saying, hey, Tate, you know, you can either choose to remember your granddad by the way that he lived or the way that he died. And I thought that was so powerful too, because it's like, it's so hard. I don't ever want to remember somebody I loved in a bad state or an unflattering state. You know, that's pretty tough. Fortunately for me, I haven't really lost anybody that I've like, okay, I don't want to say I haven't lost anybody that I've cared about because that's a lie. I have not had a huge loss to the sense of it's changed me at my identity or fundamentally, but I've seen other people lose people that they care about, like siblings or family. And I know that it breaks you and I know that it changes you. I lost 2 friends when I was younger. They both died, I think like violent, like gun violence or something like that. And ironically, one of their birthdays was today. So happy heavenly birthday to him. But it changed me because I was like, man, you're here today, gone tomorrow. And I was like, they didn't deserve what happened to them. I don't know what happened to the one whose birthday is today. I won't say his name out of respect for his family. But it was just like, he's too young. Like, they were both too young. One was like 19 or 20, and the other one was like maybe late 20s. And I was like, he had a kid. Like, he had something to look forward to. He had purpose. He had life. And I think it just ended over something so trivial. And I feel like, unfortunately, a lot of the times when people resort to using other things to hurt or kill someone, I feel like is communication. People don't know how to communicate, don't know how to let go of their anger, their pain, their hurt. So instead of just expressing that or walking away from a situation, I think they just elevate it by using that. That's my thought. I could be wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Do it respectfully, please. But I don't know. That kind of took a dark turn. I want to kind of get back to the show. But anyway, happy heavenly birthdays to both of them. So Beth pulls an ambush or pulls a fast one, and she goes to Jamie's office. So Jamie's coming into work, and his secretary is like, you good? You need me to move around your schedule? Like, I can make your day lighter so that you can just have a little bit of peace and quiet. He's like, no, I just like want to work because that'll kind of help him stay distracted and stay busy. And he's like, she's like, your sister's in there. And he's like he knows like he's about to get his ass handed to him because Beth be tearing his ass up. I be living for it. I'm like, she be lighting him up. She be punching this man dead in the face, thumping him in his chest, smacking the shit out of him. I'm like, So he goes in there and he doesn't close the door. He looks like a 5-year-old and she looks like his mom that's about to beat his ass with the belt. And he can't look her in the eye. So she goes up to him and she's like, look me in the eye. And he won't. And that's how she knew that he had something to do with their dad being killed. So she keeps slapping him and she's like, look me in the eye, and he's just like taking it. Because he's such a coward and he's so weak. Like, he just does. Okay, I know I said that Casey does whatever his dad tells him, but I think it's a loyalty and an admiration and a respect. I think there's a reverence there. I think with Jamie, he's just so spineless. He's just willing to do whatever it takes to get ahead. He doesn't care who he hurts. He doesn't care who he steps on. He doesn't care about morals or ethics or principles. And I think that's the difference between him and Casey. So she just smacking the taste out of this man's mouth. And she's like, all right, bet. And so she leaves and she's like, seeing me will be the last thing you ever do alive. Because she's like, yeah, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for blood. Like, an eye for an eye. You kill him, I kill you. So Beth basically tells him, like, you're dead. You're on a time crunch right now. So Sarah, that girl I told you about from the last review, she comes in. There's a guy that she works with. They're like a company that wants to like use the ranch land to build like a commercial center, like an airport, like a casino, like a mall, kind of like a shopping plaza thing. I can't remember exactly, so forgive me if I don't, but basically something to that effect. So Beth sees her, and the bitch is just so smug. Sarah, she's just like, yeah, I have something to do with it. What's up? What you gonna do? You gonna see me or what? And I was like, this bitch is bold, because I would have pulled out her extensions. But anyway, so Beth like slams her against the wall. She starts mollywopping her, like she fucked her up. And Sarah just like wiping the blood off, laughing. I'm like, So then Beth calls Casey, and she confirms what she already knew. She's like, Jamie has something to do with this. So you gonna help me kill this motherfucker or not? So Casey's like, let me call in some favors and let me pull some strings. So he calls in an old military buddy. The guy, oh my God, I can't remember the actor's name, but I don't know if y'all remember Quantico, Priyanka Chopra's love interest in Quantico. Oh, he's so fun. I'm telling you, white men, I don't know, older white men, they're just so fine. But anyway, so he was in Quantico. He was in that show, Believe. I forget the actor's name, Jake. Oh my God, this is pathetic. I can't remember his name. Hold on. I'm gonna look it up because I have my tablet here. Let me see if I can look it up real quick. Quantico. That show was so good, but Priyanka Chopra's character pissed me off because she was too perfect. Again, I told you I hate characters that are like immediately good at everything, because it's like, yes, Jake McLaughlin. He's so fine. Hold on, I'm about to show y'all a picture of him. Maybe he not to y'all, but he fine to me. I don't know if y'all could see this. These are like younger pictures of him, but I don't know. He do it for me. I'd be like, hey, hey. So anyway, he calls in a favor to this military buddy, and he's like, hey, he's like, Casey's questioning him, like, what organization, what government, who is it? Because I want to see. I think Nick said a good point. He's like, Casey wants to confirm before he pulls that trigger and fucks his brother up and kills him. Because Casey is the ethical killer. He kills people that are bad and need to be rid of because they're causing evil or harm to other people. So yeah, so his friend's like, I'm gonna do some digging. He's like, be careful, because these are not the type of people you want to piss off. You don't want to kick up that hornet's nest and then get fucking stung and allergic and die and all that shit, or get welts or whatever. So yeah, so I think I kind of mixed this part up, so forgive me if I got this part wrong, but to my knowledge or understanding, Jamie is talking with Sarah and that guy that came in the office with her, the one that has that company that wants to like use the ranch land to transform it into something more commercial or profitable. So I think they want to like sue the estate, and they want to do something with the will. So Jamie had a hand in creating the will, but he's like, Beth has probably reviewed it. She's going to change it. She's really smart. She's going to pull something out of her ass to counteract what we're going to do. And they're like asking him questions like, how long do you think we can drag it out in court? And he's like, a year. And they're like, can we get the lease, redone or revamped? And he's like, we got this in the bag. And I'm like, Jamie, you are not that smart. Like, you always need somebody to do it for you. It's like, he's smart, but he doesn't have that killer instinct like Beth does. Beth definitely reminds me of Shiv from Succession. I told y'all in the last video, y'all need to really watch that show. That show is so fire. It won so many awards, and it deserved it. The writing, the storytelling, the acting, the directing, the costuming. When I say everything was top tier, I meant that shit. Like, I actually love Shiv's wardrobe. I was like, can the person who designed her clothes design my clothes, but for free or for a discount, a poor discount? So anyway, they're asking him all these questions, and Jamie's like, let's do it. So then they're like encouraging him to run for governor now that his dad's seat is empty. And I said, bitch, first of all, you killed your dad. He didn't do it directly, but he had something to do with it. And then you just gonna go take his spot? I said, oh no. I said, and even if he gets that seat, he ain't gonna be alive for much longer. I was like, does he not think his sister gonna fuck his shit up? I was like, Beth will do it. She'll set that building on fire and be like, yeah, I did it. Here's the match. Like, she'll be smiling in the mugshot. I said, he is so stupid. Like, he's a puppet. The girl, I also meant to say this. So after that scene, Jamie and Sarah, do the do in his office. I feel like every scene is just her ripping her clothes off for him. And I think she uses that as a means of power and control. I said this before, but she definitely reminds me of Alicia Vikander's character in Ex Machina. If y'all have not seen that movie, go see it. It's so old, but it's so applicable. Like a woman using her sexuality to get ahead. So basically in that movie, I know I'm going off on a tangent, but I'm trying to correlate the two. I told you I watch a lot of movies and TV. This is like the perfect job for me because my memory and able to, being able to connect different art forms and art pieces is nice. But so in the movie, who is the main star? Oscar Isaac is in there, and I think he fine as hell. But I forget what is that. I'm about to look it up. I have my tablet right here. Hold on, I'm about to look up the cast because I want to tell you who plays who. I know most of the cast, but I just want to make sure before I. So I'm about to read the plot. So it follows. So basically, the movie follows a programmer who's invited to a CEO's house. He's like a tech CEO because he wants to test this robot out. It's like a female robot that he made. Oh, Domhnall Gleeson plays Caleb. He's this guy. He's like kind of down on his luck. He's a programmer. He gets invited to Oscar Isaac's house. It's like a sweepstakes or something. So he gets like 1 week with Oscar Isaac's character, and he's like a tech guru. He's fucking genius. He's like invented these female robots, and the robots like is so fucking smart. It's like AI on steroids. It's like ChatGPT if she came to life and it was a girl. And the robot fucking outsmarts. He's like keeping the robots in confinement. It's like he uses them for what he wants, and then he puts them away like they're just like toys on a shelf or something. It's so good. And Alicia Vikander plays the robot that like outsmarts him, and she like breaks out and sets the whole shit on fire. Like it's so good. But the Sarah character reminds me of that because she was able to so easily convince Jamie and get him to do all this stuff outside of his normal comfort zone. I think Jamie thinks he's in the clear. Like, he knows that Beth is coming for him and gunning for blood, but I don't think he knows how badly he just fucked everything up. Like, he's doing all this stuff that is, like, so outside of his character. Yes, he can be spiny or spineless, but a lot of it was a little bit more calculated. He's just doing exactly verbatim. Like, he's not rebutting. He's not, oh, well, we should do it this way. Like, he can't think for himself. Like, he never has been able to. And I think that's what sets him apart from his other siblings. So, yeah, I think Sarah's probably going to have to die too, because she's just going to keep, even if she doesn't have Jamie, she'll move on to the next. Like, knowing her, she would try to sleep with Casey or something because she was like, I need that power. I need that hunger. I'm hungry for it. And I think she really thrives off being in control. Jamie thinks he's in control, but it really is her. She's pulling all the strings. Like, he's just such an idiot. I was like, his kill better be fire, because if not, I'm boycotting the show. I mean, not for real, but anyway. So Sarah says this really cool line that I actually typed, and I was like, this is kind of hard. Okay, it worked. So she's like, kings don't wallow, kings feast on the bounty of their conquest. And I was like, whoever wrote this line, give them a raise. I was like, that was so poetic. I said, that should have been in the Gladiator movie, bitch. And then when she said that, she's like, devour me, and then they have sex or whatever. So Rip takes Summer to the airport. So remember I said Summer was John's little plaything that he had while he was still alive. And Summer basically is like, hey, your job probably won't exist in the next generation or so. And he's like, hey, we're going to have to roll with the changes. And he made a really good like reference or argument. He was saying how the wagon was out, and then they were like, oh, this is going to go out of style. What will farmers and cowboys and stuff use? And then they invented like the John Deere like tractor trailer. So he's like kind of with that, we're just going to go with the flow and we'll adapt as we see fit. And I thought that was really cool. I also wanted to add to that, I do think that cowboys will still exist, like I said, but I think, what was I going to say? Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, my mother-in-law just texted me, so I kind of got distracted by a little pop-up. But I was going to say that it won't look exactly the same. Like Rip said, it'll just change with the times. It might not be exactly like how when it first came out versus 50 years from now, 100 years from now or whatever, but it'll work itself out, because I think we still do need cowboys. And then what was I gonna say? So the episode ends with Teeter and the guys kind of like riding off into the sunset, or I don't even want to say riding off into the sunset. They kind of like, well, I guess, yeah, they like line up, they're like looking off into the distance, like the horizon. And then they're like, hey, let's get to work. Rip isn't there. He's up in Montana with Beth. So he put someone else in charge. But it kind of like went hand in hand with what Rip was saying to Summer. Like, cowboys are still going to be around. There's some longevity. There's like a legacy to that. And it's not just going to be something that goes extinct or goes out of style. So that second episode was definitely better. I would say rated like maybe like an 8.5, maybe like an 8 out of 10. I was like, okay, it's picking up. I want to see some drama happen. But I was like, obviously it's not going to happen in the first and second episodes. Probably more like 4, 5, and 6. And I was telling Nick, I was like, I wonder how many episodes they're going to have. I wonder, like how are they going to wrap this all up? Because there's so many things that they need to wrap up. And I was like, I don't know how much time they want to take to do that. But I was like, to end an iconic franchise is pretty hard. I mean, look at what happened with Game of Thrones. I don't know, Succession. I was so fucking distraught when it ended because I was like, what am I gonna watch? I was like, they don't make TV like this anymore. I feel like Hollywood is kind of like on a downward spiral a little bit. Like the content is not contenting, and so it's like very hard to find a good body of work that you want to give your time to. But I do really respect people that are in that industry because it is so much work and so much time. I know it's not completely related, but even though I was like kind of spicy on my review of Gladiator, I feel like I had a lot of sentiments that other people had because I've been reading reviews and stuff and they've pretty much been saying the same thing. But I read an article about like the costume designers and stuff behind Gladiator 2, and it's so intricate. They were like sourcing silks from like all different countries. They were talking about how some of the actors didn't want to wear what they had bought, so they had to like regroup. I think I read something that said Pedro Pascal didn't want to bulk up for the role. He's like, I'm just going to keep my body. And I don't know if it was like he was just like, you got to take my body or my vessel as it is, or he just didn't want to do the work to bulk up. It could have been a mixture. Or maybe he just felt strongly about it, like my body is my body and you have to take me as I am. But then he decided to change his mind and then he did bulk up. So they had to keep like making alterations to the costumes. I think even they were talking about, there was something, Denzel didn't want to wear a turban because I think that's something that his character would have worn like back in that time, and he said I didn't want to do it. So they're like, we try to convince him to wear the earrings, and it's like a collaborative process. Like I think I watched another video of Sydney Sweeney, and she was talking about how she had her costume made for The Handmaid's Tale. And she was like, yeah, we kind of just worked together, and I kind of told her what I wanted. And she was talking about all the little special things that the costume designer made for her to make it more breathable and workable for her performance. And I just thought that was so incredible that someone's hearing your vision and you guys can collaborate and put it on paper and then make it manifest in real life. Like the costumes in Gladiator were very elaborate, especially for Lucilla Macrinus and anybody of like the upper crust. Like they had sketches in the article that I read. I want to say it was like Variety or one of those magazines or something like that, or publications, and they had sketches of like each character, and I was like, this is so ornate. Like I am so jealous because I wish I could do this. Sidebar, something that I really always wanted to do when I was younger was be a fashion designer, and I said, bitch, I gotta do all this work. I knew I wanted to do something creative, but I used to actually sketch. Like my parents would give me a sketchbook. My favorite fucking show of all time was Project Runway. I used to watch it for hours. Like I would watch that just as much as I watch anything like food related, like Food Network, or what's the other, yeah, Bravo. I loved Top Chef. That was one of my favorite shows for so long. Every now and then I'll catch it, but I'm not as consistent. But I actually wanted to do that, and I did not realize how much work it was. I took a fashion design class in high school, bro. I was so fucking bad at it. I remember one time I like tried to glue a skirt together, and I was like, bitch, how you gonna wash it? How you gonna wear it? It's so ornate, and I have a deep respect for anybody who does anything creative because it is a lot of work. It is so much work. And sometimes like I think I take for granted me being a writer because I'm like, oh, it's just writing. But it's like, no, a lot of people don't know how to write. A lot of people don't know how to make things stick. And a lot of people hate writing and don't. I feel like a lot of the times I'm able to get in other rooms and get things that I want because of how I write. Like that sounds so simple, but being professional and being articulate and like very thorough and detailed on paper it's huge, you know? So yeah, I'm curious to see where this season will go. I guess if I had to make a few predictions, Jamie's gonna die. I think Casey's gonna be the one to kill him. Beth wants to do it, but I think Casey's gonna be driven by rage. And I think he's gonna get so caught up, and I think his family is gonna be cost in the process. I don't know if they'll like die. I don't think that. I think it might be like a divorce or they move or something. I'm not exactly sure. As far as Beth goes, I could see her killing Sarah, or I could see her doing something to put her away or make her go away, even if it's not in the physical sense. I'm trying to think what else. I don't know. I'm trying to think what other storylines they're going to really explore. I think there's some, oh, I forgot to talk about, is his name Stillwater? There's like a Native American man that's like a political leader. I don't know what's going to happen with him. It looks like him and the Duttons will partner together, but I wonder if that will backfire. And that's so interesting because he kind of has such a hard-on about white people being on indigenous land. So I don't know. I'm trying to think what else. Those are the few predictions I can make. Maybe if I see, some more episodes, I can kind of have some other things that I want to put out there. But anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed this review. I hope you guys are liking the show. If you haven't started watching it, give it a chance. Don't be like me. Give it a couple episodes and see if you like it. Even if you don't like Westerns, cowboys, or anything, it has a little bit of something for everyone. Sometimes I will say that it can get a little bit repetitive with the cowboy and like the life on the frontier sequences or life on the ranch. But I think it's authentic to the story. Also, the music is really good. The actors are pretty good. The storytelling is pretty unique. The earlier seasons are off the fucking chain. It's only 5 seasons, so that's pretty watchable. I think it premieres on Paramount or Paramount Plus, but you probably can find it on other streaming platforms. But anyway, I love you guys. Hope you had a great weekend. Let me know what you've been up to and take care. Bye.